No, fucking.
The film begins with the voice of a man telling the legend of giant creatures known as trolls. Long ago, these beings once lived side by side with humans. But one day, a new king named Olaf rose to power. Using religion as his excuse, he drove all the trolls out of the dark forests and into the sunlight, turning them into stone. Even after that, Olaf and his soldiers continued hunting down both young and adult trolls to end their rule forever. This story was often told by a father to his daughter, Nora, who grew up listening to tales about trolls. 30 years later, Nora has left her old life behind and now lives in isolation. One day, she is visited by her old friend Andreas, who now works for the government. Andreas asks Nora for help investigating a strange new case involving a recently discovered troll. He takes her to Vemork, a hydroelectric facility in Norway, where a troll has been found and is now under research. There, Nora meets Professors Mahler and Wangel, who immediately guide her into a secure room. As they walk, Mahler explains that this legendary creature was actually discovered during World War II. Back then, Vemork was said to be a site for weapons production and anti-German operations. But in reality, that story was only used to hide the truth. After being discovered 100 years ago, the creature was named Jotun. But Andreas prefers calling it Megatroll. Since the incident 3 years earlier, security has been tightened. Ultraviolet lights were placed all around the creature as a precaution. Soon after, Professor Marion arrives. As the lead researcher, she explains that the troll is still in hibernation. The only sign of life is its heartbeat. Nora is then taken upstairs, where she meets Siji, Andreas' wife, who is heavily pregnant. After that, Andreas shows Nora a fragment of an ancient manuscript from the era of St. Olaf. The moment Nora sees it, she realizes the story about Olaf driving away the trolls may have been true all along. Even so, the professors and research team are worried there may be more trolls out there. With the first troll appearing years ago, and another one now in front of them, it is very possible that more trolls could rise again one day and seek revenge. That is why Andreas asked Nora to join the investigation, since they still have no effective solution. After hearing everything, Nora is left shaken and heads to the bathroom to clear her mind. But while wandering around, she accidentally enters a restricted area meant only for staff. Once inside, she approaches the giant sleeping troll. Slowly, she reaches out and touches it. Then, without hesitation, Nora begins singing an old troll song her mother used to sing when she was a child. And suddenly, something happens. As the team prepares to activate the ultraviolet lights, Professor Marion refuses to destroy the creature. But that decision only causes the troll to become even more aggressive. Once the creature breaks free, the military responds immediately. Nora, Andreas, Siji, and Marion are flown out to meet their old ally, Major Christopher, who takes them to the Prime Minister. An emergency meeting begins at once. The Prime Minister says he understands how valuable Andreas and the others' research is, including Marion's efforts to control Megatroll. But he cannot ignore the fact that countless civilians are now in danger. Reluctantly, he orders the military to eliminate Megatroll as soon as possible. When the mission begins, Nora wants to join them, but Chris refuses at first. He says this mission is different from the others and far more dangerous. But after remembering everything they went through together in the past, Chris finally agrees to bring Nora, Andreas, and Marion along. Meanwhile, at a nearby ski resort, visitors continue enjoying themselves, completely unaware that disaster is about to strike. At the same time, Chris and his team arrive and immediately attack Megatroll using ultraviolet weapons. The assault burns the creature's skin and causes it intense pain. But Megatroll fights back by throwing a support pillar at a helicopter, sending it crashing to the ground. After losing one of his men, Chris can only watch as the giant monster stares at them with pure hatred. Now, there is nothing left to do except come up with another plan and wait for the government's next move. While examining the helicopter wreckage, Nora and Professor Marion get into an argument. Marion now realizes the troll is an extremely violent creature. But Nora disagrees. She believes this troll is different from the Troll King they faced before. That previous troll only wanted to return home. Their argument gives Andreas an idea. He asks Nora if she might be able to communicate with the troll. Hearing this, Nora remembers something important. She takes everyone to the Dovra Mountains, the same place where the first troll once appeared. According to legend, this was the hunting ground where St. Olaf kidnapped the Troll King's child in order to lure him there. Nora believes that if the Troll King survived and escaped 3 years ago, then his child may still be trapped inside these mountains. When they arrive at a deep chasm inside a cave, Nora uses a stone to strike the ground several times. Moments later, the child of the Troll King awakens.
Legg vekk det våpenet. Ikke lys ham lett i øynene. Aldri ro.
Using her knowledge of trolls, Nora slowly approaches and places her hand on the creature. Then she begins singing the same song again. This time, the troll responds peacefully. Seeing its friendly expression, Nora gives the creature a nickname, Handsome. After explaining that they need help, the group prepares a trap for Megatroll, who is already on the move. Once everything is ready, Nora fires a flare gun to attract Megatroll's attention and signal Handsome to reveal himself. But when the two creatures begin communicating, something feels wrong. Megatroll refuses to listen and violently stomps the ground.
Jeg tror vi skal starte opp.
Their plan has failed. Later, the group gathers again to discuss their next move. In the middle of their despair, Professor Marion notices something while tracking Megatroll's path. The route it is taking matches an old pilgrimage road leading north to a place called Trondheim. Hearing this, Nora remembers another story from her father. When St. Olaf carried out his massacre, he ruled from the capital of Trondheim, once known as Nidaros. Nora suddenly realizes Megatroll is heading there for revenge. When they arrive in Trondheim, they are greeted by a woman named Esther, who knew Nora's late father very well. She leads them to Nidaros Cathedral, where they hope to find clues inside the hidden tomb of St. Olaf beneath the church. Despite years of excavation, Esther and her team have never found any trace of the grave. But this time, thanks to Andreas accidentally noticing 3 holes in a wall beneath a painting of St. Olaf, they finally discovered the hidden entrance.
Prøv med den her. Så.
Once they uncover the coffin, they open it. For the first time, they come face to face with the remains of Olaf himself. To their surprise, they also find a torn piece of paper on his body. Realizing it matches the ancient manuscript fragment, they photograph it and send it to Siji so she can combine it with the other piece. When the fragments are joined together, the truth is revealed. Saint Olaf never wanted to exile the trolls at all. He had actually planned to give them the land of Jotun as their home. But the church opposed his decision, so Olaf was murdered. After that, the trolls were driven out and slaughtered forever. Realizing Megatroll is seeking revenge against the descendants of those who founded the nation, Nora shares the truth with the world. The news causes massive reactions everywhere. In the middle of the chaos, the president orders Chris and the others to evacuate immediately, because the military is already moving toward Trondheim. But despite the order, Nora and everyone there refuse to retreat. They are determined to find a way to stop this disaster once and for all. From childhood stories, Nora remembers hearing that Olaf defeated trolls with a silver sword. But after connecting everything they have learned, she realizes the sword was not the true weapon. What actually killed trolls was the holy spring water surrounding St. Olaf's tomb. Once they confirm they have enough holy water, Major Chris and Professor Marion ask the townspeople to stand and fight beside them while collecting water from the sacred spring. That night, after all preparations are complete, Megatroll finally enters the city. As soon as it comes within range, Andreas and Esther ring the cathedral bells, instantly disrupting Megatroll's hearing. Chris then orders artillery rounds filled with holy water to be fired. But instead of stopping the creature, the attack only makes Megatroll even more furious. Then, in the middle of the panic, a mighty roar is heard in the distance. It is Handsome. And he is still alive. Seeing that Handsome is badly injured, Andreas comes up with one final plan. Since holy water has no effect on Megatroll's outer skin, he decides to place holy water wrapped in silver, along with explosives, directly into the monster's mouth. With Chris' help, Andreas quickly boards a helicopter and flies toward the battle. But during the flight, he drops the detonator. Now there is only one option left. The bomb must be triggered manually. With no other choice, Andreas decides to sacrifice himself. Before doing it, he calls CG one last time to say,
Hva mener du? Pappa var...
After the explosion, the government begins rebuilding everything that was destroyed. At the same time, CG gives birth to a baby girl. In the end, they all find peace, while Handsome roams freely at last. But just when everyone believes the disaster is over forever, Professor Mahler, the researcher Nora met at the beginning, is revealed to have secretly saved a small troll specimen from the destroyed laboratory. And that means the story may not be over yet.